I want to share today 3 concepts that helped me as I transitioned from not being a parent into being a parent. So, if you're a new parent, or if you just recently conceived, or if you're thinking about becoming a parent, here are 3 things that were really helpful to me as I transitioned from initially being in a phase of saying, hey, I don't want to have kids. I think it's irresponsible. I want my freedom, to having a kid and seeing it in a totally different light. So let me tell you, first things first, number one, my excuse before was it's irresponsible to raise a kid in this environment. And that is indicative of a mindset of the world or life is happening to me, right? It is imposing itself on me, not me imposing myself and my life onto the rest of the world. I switched from it's irresponsible to have a kid in this day and age to it's irresponsible to not have a kid in this day and age because the onus is on you, me, this is what I realized, to raise a kid that makes the world a better place. My vision and my mission is to raise consciousness of the planet. If I'm doing that, then I need a vision and a legacy that outlasts me, that can do more than I can by myself. One way of doing that is having a son and raising him in the way that he can carry on this mindset, this legacy, by being raised in that manner to make the world a better place, to raise consciousness across the world. And there's lots of different ways that that can happen. I'm going to leave that open to him, but I will make that a part of his mindset, especially in these first 5 years. You are here and you are living life, like take life by the hands, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, parenting is super easy to grasp, much harder to actually do. But there's a great opportunity here. The concept I want to get across is that parenting is easy. Monkey see, monkey do. Remember that and you're fine. Don't explain it. They don't grasp words or concepts or anything like that. And even when they are old enough, they're still going to look at what you're doing. Okay? So just bear this in mind. Everything you do, everything you say, how you react or respond or behave around them, every single thing is observed and recorded. They are the ultimate surveillance apparatus. There is nothing they miss, and there is nothing they don't take in. So when your kid, falls down, bumps their knee, how do you react? You panic? You run over to them immediately? Do you express gentle concern? Are you supportive? You obviously need to be caretaking, but if they see you freaking out, if they see you getting tense, if they see you overreacting, that's how they're going to handle everything in life. Simple as that, okay? And the third one is that every single time you have a decision, to lead them in the way that you want them to come up, right? It's very easy to expect your child to do one thing and then turn around and do another and justify it by some concept because they don't understand or they don't know the details. That means nothing to them. You have the choice every single time you react or engage with them, how you choose to respond. And it all comes down to setting that example and leveraging your willpower. Have the choice every single time. I can't tell you, here's a great example. Last night, when Darian comes over, I tend to, I put him down and then I tend to stay up late to work on stuff that I need to move forward on. That's my 5 to 9, right? Is staying up late, working on, yoga sequence generator, working on my Bitcoin trading bot, working on getting back into my course. These are all things that I'm working on. And I have to do that from 5 to 9 a.m., right? And get some sleep in there. So last night I go to bed, it's like 12:03. And the moment I pull the covers up, of course, Darian wakes up. I put him down at 9 o'clock. He wakes up, he wants me, he wants a bubba. And he's always, whenever he wakes up in the night, he seeks comfort from me. And usually that's in the form of me laying on the floor and him laying on my chest. He's very comfortable there. When he's sick, that's where he lays. When he's tired, that's where he lays. When he just wakes up from a nap, that's where he lays. He knows exactly his spot. He knows the comfort zone. He's got it dialed in. So I get in bed, I just pull the sheets up and I hear this tiny little noise and I was hoping it wasn't him waking up, but it was. And then I was right there and it was obvious to me. I have a choice. I can complain that the moment I got into bed, he woke up, and I knew it was going to be like an hour before I went to bed, or I could choose compassion and grace and being grounded, go up with a positive attitude. He wants a bottle, let him lay on my chest for a little bit, and then he'll either fall asleep and go to bed, or I'll put him back in bed. So I did. We laid on the ground, and he laid there for like an hour, and he didn't really sleep. So I put him back in bed, and he started to fuss, and then he said something about a blanket, so I put the blanket on him, and then he was fine. He went back to sleep. The point being that we have to act in the moment like them. They can't grasp all of this stuff. And when we grasp that it's monkey see, monkey do, we have a choice every single time we engage with them. And it's our responsibility to raise our kids in a way that makes the world a better place. And it's a responsibility for us as part of humanity to raise the next generation better than us. And this just brings to mind, there's an indigenous saying that we don't inherit the world from our parents, we borrow it from our children. And there's lots of different ways you could take that regarding pollution or eating animals, or modern society and all this there's lots of different ways that I could take that. But ultimately, I think, hey, we are borrowing it from our kids and our grandkids. But at the same time, we also have to show them how to make the world a better place, right? And that just takes a concentrated effort, and it starts from birth. It really does. All the things that you want to teach your kid, do not wait. Do not wait to teach them till way later on. That is not the time. The first 5 years are the most crucial for establishing a child's worldview. Some argue up to 7. It doesn't really matter to me. Like, the same mindset should be going the whole time. And once I took this on, not only it's definitely a big responsibility, 100%, but simultaneously it's very fulfilling. And it's unfulfilling like anything else to see your child growing up in your image. You are raising them with the things you have learned. You are raising them with the lessons that you have absorbed. You are not repeating the traumas and behavioral patterns of your parents or yourself that are negative and not contributing to their development as much as you conscientiously can. Obviously, there's going to be some patterns that carry over, but you have to work quite diligently at intentionally identifying your patterns, your behaviors, your triggers, your reactions, your overreactions, and then engaging with those in a way where you're like, hey, this is where I would typically do that thing. I'm not going to do that anymore. Why? Because monkey see, monkey do, right? It's very simple. It all loops around. And if you're a new parent, or if you're thinking about becoming a parent, even if you're a more established parent, you're looking to be more conscientious in raising your child, I would recommend that you spend more time with your parents and notice the things that irk you. Notice the things that they automatically go to for responses and how they handle situations. And you'll notice that there's opportunities for doing things differently. All right, so let me give you an example here. One thing that I noticed about my parents is they get tense around money. Now, they've got Christian rooted beliefs around, money being the root of all evil. They don't really separate the fact that it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. And so what this has translated into is a mindset where they're just focused on cutting costs, but they're not really that focused on increasing income. And so this produces a lot of tension, right? Because the cost of living keeps going up, and they're not in the mindset of making more at a faster rate than the increasing cost of living. And that was something that I really noticed, because when I was in past relationships and even on my own, I would notice that tension I felt around, buying groceries or paying bills or paying rent or managing money. That tension was there because that was just what I saw. My parents didn't intentionally teach that to me. That was just the behavior that they had picked up over time. A sigh, a complaint, we don't have money for that. And never ever did I hear phrases like, how can we make this possible? Or can you come up with the extra money for this? Or could you start a business that would, a little kid business that would pay for this, right? Cutting grass or doing lemonade stands or yard selling stuff or reselling stuff online. There was never any discussion about that. And it took me a long time to recognize that I even had these mindsets. And now with Darian, I'm much more positive about money. So when he wants something, I say, hey, how can we figure out a way to make some extra money for this? And first of all, the mindset part, right? Like the first 5 years being so important. I don't say we don't have the money for that, right? I wouldn't say that, because now I'm putting a limit on the universe. I'm telling it we don't, right? I do not do that anymore. I say, yeah, like let's find a way to make some money for this. Let's see if we can find it in the budget. Maybe there's somewhere else we can cut back temporarily or indefinitely. Maybe there's a way that we could get it without paying very much money or no money at all. Maybe there's a spot we could borrow it from if you're just looking for a short-term thing. So just not having that emotional heaviness around money. And I remember being back in Sri Lanka and I had to go to the ATM all the time. And so I'd always bring Darian with me. I'd always have a positive attitude. And I even started calling the ATM the automatic tree of money. And that was just amazing for my mindset. And I was saying like, hey, monkey see, monkey do. When I go to the ATM, am I emotional? Am I frustrated? Am I complaining? Or am I happy? Am I handing money to Darian for him to play? I know he's going to throw it. I just pick it up. Like, how am I engaging with him on that level when I buy stuff? How am I expressing myself emotionally? Am I including him in that process, right? So for me, changing the money mindset and the emotional associations around money has been huge work in myself, and it's allowed me to do actions that make me more money, and it's helping me to cultivate a healthy relationship with the energy of money for my son. So if you're a new parent, if you're an existing parent, if you're becoming a parent, these are really powerful changes that you can make in your life to make parenting much easier for you and deliver healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, a healthy worldview for your child, right? So the three of those things are raising them in a way that makes the world a better place, being mindful remembering that you have a decision for everything that you do, or that's the third one. And then the second one is monkey see, monkey do. Okay, so just remember those three things because you'll find these super helpful in many areas of your life, but it will help you with raising your kids, understanding or feeling more comfortable in raising your kids, and that'll just make your life a lot easier. So hopefully this helped you out. If you'd like more parenting content, then let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.